Good morning, everyone. Robbie here with Splash Painting. You are watching Coffee with Contractors. Today, I have the pleasure of discussing business with Steve from Zorr Corp. I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself for those of you that do not know who this gentleman is. Steve, how are you this morning?
What's up, brother? How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I just got my cup of coffee, just like I see you got yours, and I'm hanging in there, man. I'm at the La Quinta Inn in Minnesota. So
you're on trade show. You're at trade shows this week, aren't you?
I'm doing a trade show, yes, here locally in Minneapolis. So I'll be leaving here in a short bit, going off over there to show off some products.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, speaking of products, tell us who exactly you are. What do you do? I see your shirt. It's an orange. Mm-hmm. It's a very familiar color to me. What is it that you guys do there at Zorr Corp?
At Zorr Corp, so we, as those of you that may not know, I'm a painting contractor I've been painting since 2001. So throughout time, just painting a lot of walls. I'm sure just like a lot of you think of ideas. And throughout time, I've thought of a couple ideas, better ways to make painting easier. So I came out with the roller bucket, the roller tray max, and the roller tray, and my most recent one, the 2-edge knife. That's my most recent tool that I got going out. So we recently just made the planogram. The planogram is store space in Sherwin-Williams. So when I'm going around doing it, I'm going to a lot of these pro shows they call them for that the Sherwin-Williams stores invite people to the pro show to go ahead and show your products. So that's why I'm over here in Minnesota doing these shows.
Oh, nice. Well, for those that don't know, the roller bucket is basically the tray you paint out of, but it has wheels on it.
Yes.
It's easy to roll on. From what I've seen videos, that it rolls on any surface.
Mm-hmm.
That you need, even on your drop cloths, which is really hard to do because I've tried making my own makeshift one. And as far as your 2-edge, that thing is, first, if I don't ever tell you again, thank you so much for making that tool. I love it. When I'm on a 30-foot ladder, that is always with me. I can do multiple things with it. And it is in Sherwin-Williams. I just saw it in my local store here in Utah. So it's here in Utah. It's everywhere. So so tell us, how long have you been painting for? You're out in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's where your headquarters is at.
Fort Myers, yeah.
Fort Myers. Sorry. Yeah, but confusing that.
It's it's like the same thing, just about. Yeah, we're in Fort Myers, Florida. That one's mine.
Oh.
Yeah, no worries. You can have a sip if you want. All right. Yeah, so I'm in Fort Myers, Florida. I'm a painting contractor over there, and so I've been painting since 2001 and just running a business. I got 3 guys working today painting an exterior. So I'm up here in Minnesota, and we manufacture the products, as I mentioned earlier, of the 2-edge knife. And so I'm kind of just all over the place making things work, you know?
Yeah. Well, you said something interesting to me, and as being a contractor myself, and I hope anyone that watches this isn't just painters talk. This is actual being a contractor where you're making your own business. One thing that you and I've talked about is that you have the ability to go to these trade shows, but you have a strong enough crew to leave and continue having your business run itself. How discuss that? How hard or how long did that actually take to get to that process where you felt comfortable enough with the crew?
Well, I started doing trade shows because we made the planogram with the roller bucket back in 2015. At that time, I developed a really solid core group of painters that I could trust on the job. And for me, I didn't look for painters to hire that were actually like awesome painters that had the experience. I looked for people who they were in the inside, because that's what makes the biggest difference. If I saw that they wanted to try something, and they wanted to work hard at it, they had a good work ethic, and they were trainable, which is a hard thing to find too, to try to train people the way that you like things done. And most of all, people I can trust, because a lot of people give me the key and they say, just go at it, and they're at their other home. This is the home that we do is most likely their second or third home. So I actually did a lot of recruiting, within the church, people I could trust. So for me, it worked out. I was just blessed with a good crew, and I trained them the way that I wanted things to be done. And from that point on, after I started seeing this developed, I could trust them more on the job by themselves to get the job done properly. So as time went on, it just kind of allowed me to invest more time into Zorr Corp. And, here I am in Minnesota while my guys are running the crew. And I may talk to them one time today. I don't know. I just trust them to run the job the way that it needs to be. So.
Well, that has to be very comforting as a newer into the contractor. It is one of the things that I'm working on. And I think you hit it on the head is that you hear a lot of guys that are painters or prior painters and they're training themselves, but they have to be open to that the way that you want it done. Now, it doesn't mean that, I think that you feel this way per our conversation. Like you may not have that, you don't have an ego about being the best painter, but you know what you're doing and you know the steps and flow that you want. So you're training your guys to do it the way that you've seen it done, be successful time after time.
Yeah.
And when you bring new people in, it tends, if they have that attitude of like, well, I know how to paint because I've been doing it for 5 years, it does make it hard, especially on a good solid crew. So you absolutely are right that you have to be careful in who you bring in. And you mentioned church, and you've told me the story. I would love for you to share it one more time with me and everyone. So how did the two-edged knife come about? Because it's such a unique tool, but it's one of those tools that I think if you're a plumber, a carpenter, electrician, a painter, any contract type work, you need this in your tool bag.
Okay, yeah. So every Friday, most Fridays, I go out jogging, and I jog about 10 miles. And I jog outside. I probably leave my house about 6 a.m. And I listen to a Bible sermon for the first 5 miles, which is about 40 minutes. And then right at that point, usually I spend time with God. I may get on my knees and I pray, or maybe I just turn around and pray when I'm running back. And I just was going through some struggles with the manufacturing business because manufacturing is not an easy business. A lot of people may think, oh man, he's got a roller bucket, he's got this, he's probably living on some private island. It is not like that. It is definitely a lot of work you got to put into it. So I went ahead and I was just struggling at that time with what to do and how to get things going more. And I just prayed to God. I says, God, please give me another idea. Give me something that's new that painters need, Lord. And I've been thinking for months. In this one, I really sincerely brought it to God's attention and got on my knees. And it wasn't, but I got up and I started running back. And it wasn't about 2 minutes later that I thought of the two-edged knife. This image just popped in my head of a putty knife and a utility knife. And I thought, wow, those are the products, other than a brush, that contractors use almost every single day on the job. Yeah. And there's nothing with two of them together. So it popped in my head, and I'm thinking, wow, this is cool. And at that time, my kids were messing around with the fidget spinner. They were just always fidgeting around. I said, get that thing away. We had so many fidget spinners around the house, and I was thinking of a way for painters because we're a bunch of big kids, man. I'm a big kid. Actually when my kid when I tell him to go put it away, there'd be me playing with the fidget spinner. So I ended up thinking of another idea. I thought of something like a cowboy western movie. I liked cowboy western movies, so I was like, man, I'm gonna make a little finger loop in it and make this thing flick. So it's like a little fidget spinner. So those of you that have faith understand where I'm coming from, and some of you that may not, you may think, oh wow, yeah, sure, whatever it may be. But I truly believe this was something that was from God and was answered fairly quick. Some answers are longer than others, and this one just happened to be a prompt one. So it wasn't but a month later that I finally had a prototype, brought it to my buddy. He made me another prototype, and it was February of 2017. A year later, I had product, had it in the test stores, and another year later, which was this past February, we were fortunate enough to make it nationwide within Sherwin-Williams and a couple other 100 stores that we're really privileged to feel part of. So that's kind of the story with that. And one quick other thing too is the two-edged knife. I named it. I didn't want to go into people saying 10-1, 20-1, and that gets really confusing. So I was trying to think of something simple, and it's got a putty knife and a utility knife, 2 edges. And I wanted to bring scripture behind it, and it's after Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. The word of God is sharper than a 2-edged sword. So it pierces deeper between the spirit and the soul and the bone and the marrow. So I wanted to go ahead and have more of a approach to it rather than just trying to just get a bunch of knives out there. So yes, that's how it kind of came up. Mm-hmm.
No, beautiful. Real quick, if you're watching this on Instagram, jump over to YouTube to finish watching the rest of this interview. Steve, no, that's your tool is amazing. I love it. I know I've sent you some videos. You probably get sick of them, but
No, I
you have
love
the
them, bro.
but I've been able to pop nails out of it with it. I've showed you the video of that. We've been able to. I've knocked bees nest out with it. It's very durable. I use it to open every paint can, even the 5-gallon buckets. I use it to cut that little ring around. I fidget.
Yeah.
My kid uses it for a fidget. I take the blade out though.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I do.
Yeah.
We've given it. I actually just gave it to a contractor that I'm working with right now because he kept asking me for a knife.
Yeah.
And so I happen to have a brand new one in my truck because I usually carry about 3 or 4 new ones. And I gave it to him, and about 2 days later, I think it was yesterday, actually, he came over and he was just in awe of how light it was and useful it was. So from contractor to contractor, thank you for making such a great tool. I know we're talking about good things, but I do want to ask you, because I think it's important to ask this question to you, is what do you still struggle with in your business? And I don't mean like in a bad way, but like you manifest something beautiful with God, and I'm a believer in that sense as well. It's like you can do whatever it is that you want, but you have to be willing to put the work in. But the answer isn't always in front of you. Sometimes you have to work harder, and you still struggle even after 10 or 15 years of being in business. There's still struggles. So with your business, what do you feel that you are working on now to progress this business to continue making it be where you want it to be?
So it's kind of twofold. At this time, even with my painting business, I do have its struggles. Right now, I feel on cloud 9 with the way it's running. I don't have to watch over it and babysit it. But I do have difficult times when work slows down, trying to provide work for them. But along the side of God just being able to open the doors for me to do Zorr Corp stuff. And I would say with the manufacturing business, the biggest challenge is getting people to truly understand what it's about. It's like the roller bucket, for instance. It's a new idea for people to transition from a 5-gallon bucket to a bucket on wheels. There's a lot of concerns. Is it going to tip? Is it going to go ahead and slosh around? And through studies that I've done personally on the job, I've seen that it's proven itself. An average painter picks up a bucket every minute and a half. If you were to add that up, that's over 200 to 300 times a day. And it's like trying to tell the painter, like, look, man, you're picking up a bucket 200 to 300 times a day. Would you rather pick it up or roll it around? So it's getting that message out, getting people to truly understand what it's about and how it could help them. So as you're dealing with a client you were dealing with yesterday, you were a one-on-one with them, you're trying to help them. That's a blessing to have that come about. But with that said, with this product, there's thousands and thousands of painters. So it's being able to tell that story to let them know, here, man, I'm trying to help you. Check out why I'm doing this. So I would say it's getting the message out there, and it's for me, it's being persistent, trying to do it, which makes consistency, and it drives you. I was looking at Facebook this morning. I don't do much Facebook. I just look at the Facebook on the storyline. So whenever I post something on Instagram, I do an auto feed on Facebook. But I was just looking at day 1 of Facebook with Roller Bucket, everything I've been through, and the behind the scenes, it's just been so much. So it's just being able to stay focused, and God has honestly truly given me my strength to go through all the hard times. Yeah. So I would say, what's the hardest thing? Is keep on going. But where I get my strength is through Christ. So I truly believe that I'm still I have a lot more to do with this. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I've heard from other contractors in this that there's days that it gets so hard you want to throw the towel in. Where it just, I mean, I dealt with that in December. I'd be lying if I didn't admit that. Mm-hmm. But it's the passion. You once you have that connection with Christ, and you're moving forward with it, and you know that this is where you want to do whatever line of business it is. Mm-hmm. You need to take those struggles as little hills that you just walk over and push through them. And if it's bigger than that, it's taking a deep breath and realizing what you bring good. And so many people nowadays have a hard time. I tell my kids this all the time: keep it human. And now they're getting that. And I tell them, you treat everybody the way that you would want to be treated at face value, and honesty goes a long way with that. But you're going to get these frustrations. And whether you're a new contractor or an old contractor, you create this, you can create an ebb and flow, but you've got to have, we refer to it as death of an ego in our family, and let God guide you, but you have to be willing to put the work in. He's not going to just throw something in your lap. And I get from you that's, you have those struggles, but that through the strength of Christ, as it says in the Bible, all can be accomplished.
Right. That's true.
It is beautiful. Now, I have two more questions for you. You brought up your kids and your family. As a contractor, you're busy. I know you're traveling right now. You have a few weeks, I think, of this. How does your work-life balance? How does that?
Yeah. So
how does that work for you guys?
Right now, I'm going to be in 5 different states this week. So I got a lot of things going on. But as most of you may say, you put God first, family, then work, and you try to prioritize to make those things work in that way. And if that's true to you, you will make that happen. If you put God truly first in your life, and then your family, you will see everything else kind of develop around that. So for myself, I may be here in Minnesota, but my son's got a track meet, and both my kids have a track meet in Tampa on Saturday. So instead of me flying home Saturday morning to Fort Myers, I'm flying straight into Tampa. I'm taking an Uber straight to the track meet, and I'm going to go watch them. So, that I hold dear to. I take my kids to, I'm consistent with taking them to church. I try to be as involved as I possibly can be with them, taking them to track or wherever it may be. And a lot of it is too, that I'm very blessed with a wonderful wife to help alongside of this. So whenever I'm busy at times like this, I'm able to rely on my wife to do, she enjoys it, and I got my mom to help out. So, it's if you truly put those things first in priority in your life, you see it really show itself. Actions speak louder than words, right?
Oh, they do, very much so. And then the last question I want to ask you is, if we were to run into you, whether you and your family, no paintbrush, no Zorr Corp shirt on, what would you be doing? What do you do in your leisure time? I know you said family and God and church, but what do you do for fun? That's that's kind of like your thing that you and your family do, or even if it's just you.
So I got certified in scuba diving, and it started off with my 10-year-old. He wanted to get certified, so we gave him that for his birthday, and my 12-year-old wanted it, and then we all got certified, so we'll go diving. We enjoy that. I love jogging, so I'm out there jogging a lot. I love playing catch with my kids. A lot of it is just togetherness. I'm being away from my family, sitting in a hotel. I FaceTime my wife all the time. It's like I'm so codependent, I guess you would say. So I really strive on being with my wife and my kids, and so I'm very much enjoy doing that, being involved with teaching Bible study. I know you said outside of church, but anytime that I have, that's kind of what I do. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm teaching Bible study or whatever it is. I'm with youth, I'm with kids, and going to football games. That's, if I got free time to just chill, I start. Maybe like you too. You just you got to do something. You know
need your fidget spinner, right?
Yeah, man, that's exactly it. So, but yeah.
Since you love the Bible and you preach, what's your favorite scripture? Do you have a favorite one that just pops out right now?
Well, I wear these little bands. I don't know if you can see this one here. This one's Isaiah 40, chapter 31. I got them for my kids, and I wear them. And last week I had Romans 28. This one here is, those who want, for those the Lord will renew their strengths. They will mount upon with wings like eagles. So that one right there is just showing perseverance. It keeps on going on, but it's just showing about being perseverance, going through things, going through hard trials. And so this one I currently got. So I got plenty of them. Colossians 3:23. This is on my trucks. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as if you're working for the Lord and not for man. That, for when something's going bad on a job, I think, what, I'm doing this for Jesus. I'm doing this for Jesus. We got that on there. And then there's I'm sure at different times, different ones pop to mind. So,
Yeah.
but that's my current one,
Nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this, Steve. It's been eye-opening. I hope that those people that are watching this who don't know who you are can see what a wonderful man you are, and I know you're a gracious father and husband to your family. You do have a surprise for our followers. First off, if you're not following him, Zorr Corp on Instagram, I know that's mainly where you do everything, but you had told me earlier that you have a little surprise for everyone we're going to do. What is that?
Yeah, we'll do a couple giveaways, and I'll leave that to Robbie to go ahead and organize it, however it may be. But I want you guys to have maybe I'll throw out a roller bucket, a roller tray max, and we'll give away one of each of those, and I'll give away a couple knives. I'll give away 3 knives, so there's 5 giveaways for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
You guys heard it. You're gonna love this product, and Steve, it's been such a pleasure. I know you got to catch a plane. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully your kids are anxiously waiting for you at track.
Yeah.
Being someone who ran track, I know how important it was to have Dad there, because when Mom and Dad are there, you seem to run a little faster.
Yeah, we push them, Yana. But no, I'm going to a show. I'm going to a show in about a half hour, and then later on to a plane. So yeah, this week, if you guys are watching this week, I'm in Minnesota, Atlanta, and then Cincinnati, and then I got a meeting up in Wisconsin. So, but yeah, go to those pro shows. Maybe I'll get a chance to see you guys and shake your hand.
If you do, take a picture with Steve and tag Splash in it.
That's right, man.
You found it. We'll be posting this on Instagram and YouTube today. Thank you, Steve, and you have a great day.
All right, Robbie. God bless you, brother.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
See ya.